morning, everybody. So now, 50 slides in 25 minutes. Let's see how it works. Yes, my name is Jürgen Hase. Hase is a German name. The English word for Hase is rabbit. So in the evening you can tell your boyfriend, girlfriend, your husband, your wife, it's the first time in their life I've seen a rabbit on stage. Okay, let's start. Coming to a different world, I will explain a little bit more about India. I've worked many years for Deutsche Telekom, responsible for IoT, then for the Middle East, Ooredoo, and now, 1st of July, I've started to work for Reliance based in India. Okay, a vision is clear. I like it, Jonathan Swiss. I believe it shows what is coming up in the IoT space the next years. Many things will come. So Unlimit, we have chosen a name, Unlimit, I will come later. And do we really know how India works? What is India? I started my job 1st of July. 1 month before, it was the first time in my life in India. People thought, oh my God, why you're going to India? It's a crazy country, and it's really a crazy country. 1.3 billion people are living in India, 1.3. Each year, round about 17 million people more. Grow. If you see how the share of the population is, I found something like this. You can see, I've compared with the German line. You can see German, only a few young people between 0 and 4, and the wave is more in the second half of the age. And in the India are much more, a wave is coming. All the young people are coming. It's unbelievable how many young people are coming in India or will be born in India. And if you see it in absolute, you can see it's a factor of 36. And these people will change their life. Believe me, they will change their life. They are thinking digital. They want to be they want to grab their life and make it much more better than people before. So, some hard figures. I know there are two sides of a coin. You should know also, in India, people have no access to water. Many people have no access to water, safe water. Is a critical point. If I compare this to smart city projects in Europe, you're talking about making cities more cooler for tourism and other things. You're talking about shared service and all these things. And in India, it's a little bit different. Taking care of water for people. Taking care of electricity for people. That means in India, around about 23% of the world, people who have no access to electricity are living in India. No water, no safe water, no electricity. A huge problem in India. India is not so a huge country, but many of these people have no access to a doctor. They need access to a doctor. They have to walk. If you use a train in India, I've done it once in my life, they have no doors. It's interesting. So many people in the train, and it's unbelievable what's going on in India. So, smart cities. We're talking a lot about smart cities. I've done this here in Germany for Deutsche Telekom, in Middle East for Ooredoo, and there also in Jakarta. I was many times also in Jakarta. And now I'm responsible for smart city in Mumbai. In Mumbai, living round about official, it's around about 20 million, but unofficial, between 30 and 35 million people living in one city. That means if you multiply Mumbai with 2.5, that's Germany. It's huge. So if you're thinking how it works, in India, Mumbai is not the only city which is such a huge cities. There are many more cities. They're expecting in the next years 6, 7, 8 cities in India where the government has to take care of. You cannot manage a city with 37 million people. How to take care of people. Education. They have done a lot regarding education, but they have to do more. Thinking about 60 million people or 70 million people are coming, young people are coming year by year on top. Many people, many kids. Waste management. If you're talking about smart cities, waste management is also a huge problem we have to solve. Interesting. I found one figure in India. There are living 39 million people in the waste management. That's half of Germany. Whatever you're thinking, doing in India, it's huge. And you have to take care that it works. Oh, traffic management. People asking me, I'm living with my family in India. Many people asking me how the traffic is going on. There's no traffic, there's traffic jam. And you have to manage it. And more people are getting more money, they want to buy a car or to share a car. I believe in the next years they will also come to a shared life. Like my kids in Germany are living also around the world. I believe the young people, all of them are living in a shared world. I believe they're sharing all what they can share. The only thing they never share is the boy or the girlfriend, the rest they will share. So traffic jam, we have to manage traffic jam. And one figure back is here also, there are not so many vehicles, but there are so many accidents. They're driving slower, but there's so many accidents. We have to take care of this. Good, now you understand why the world in India is a little bit different to the world, to the others, to Europe or some other countries, to US market and others. Good, then the Prime Minister has started a digital initiative. There are 3 points in the digital initiative. How to win the game. The government has created a triangle. One push is coming from the government. Then they need all the startups. I will come later on. And the third one, the industry. The industry has to invest in the future in the same way. And how it works in principle, here you can see the 3 points. 1 point, they started the initiative Make in India. And in India, there's so many manufacturers also. And people think also, why not create it by themselves? It's not necessary to import all these things. You can use it also in your country. You can produce it in your country. It's coming up more and more. The second initiative, Smart Cities, I will come later on, and Startup. So, some figures about the IoT market in India. Actually, we have around about 5.7 billion US dollar as a revenue in IoT market. It will increase up to 2020 to 15 billion. Actually, we have around about 250 million connected devices. It will increase up to 2.7 billion in the next years. On the startup, we are now the number 3 in India compared to the rest. I will explain later. And there's the youngest startup community worldwide. So, Smart City program in India, how it works. The people in India, most of the people are moving to the urban areas because there are no jobs in the rural areas. So that means round about 20 to 30 people each minute migrating to a city. And not people who will be born there. That means per day round about 30,000 people. 30,000 people each day are moving to the urban areas. In the next years, we are talking about 2050, 800 million people are living in urban areas in India. So what is the program? They have started an initiative, around about 100 smart cities. They have done really professional. The smart city program consists of, there was a voting. Each city has to vote by themselves to make an offer to the government. I want to be a smart city. And there's a selection process. Now the first 20 cities are already starting. And the interesting one is compared to Europe, in India, they have to offer 10 services. Parking, waste management, and so on, whatever they want. But 3 of them must be copy and paste for other cities. That means 7 could be local driven, if they're more near to the coast or wherever, what they're doing, but 3 of them should be copy and paste to other smart cities. 100 smart cities. One part is also the building management. Why? In India, in the urban areas, they need round about 11 million flats per year, new flats. It's also interesting, if I'm talking about IoT, about elevator. I've read from I believe it was ThyssenKrupp, I don't know, I believe it was ThyssenKrupp. There are 2 huge markets for elevators. It's China and India. And now you can see why. There's no space, it's a huge buildings. All these huge buildings need elevator in any form. So it's the third largest construction market around the world. So the startup campaign, they have started a foundation. They founded a new organization where they're funding a lot of money for the startups. And I've visited many of them. The campaign is around about 10,000 startups in the next 5 years. Actually, they have created around about 4,000 startups already in the first 12 months. And they're creating new jobs. Many, many, many new jobs. And now India has increased from the startup mentality, and I'm talking about tech startups, IoT startups. I'm not talking about any other startups, technology startups. Actually, we are around about 4,200 up to 4,500. So that means you can see on one side, you see the wave of young people, which is coming. On the other side, you can see all of them, they're interested in to start in startup companies, to work there, to create new ideas. You can also see that 72% of the founders are less than 36 years old. This is the youngest quote worldwide. What I've found that was also interesting, that in Mumbai, where I am living, round about 1/3 of the students who have graduated last year, they went to tech startups. They like to be independent, to change things. So then here's some more figures. I believe most of these things I've already explained. Automotive. In India is a huge market for automotive. Actually not, but it is expected for the next years. What does it mean? In up to 2025, we are expecting round about a market share, a world share of 8.4% worldwide. And this is the reason why, for example, all the OEMs, they are knocking on our door. They're asking us, please, how we can get access for connected cars. And they're talking about connected cars in India. There's also a law driven by the government that each public transport has to be tracked. It's a must. And the government is pushing all these digital services into the market to take care of people, to manage cities, to manage people. So that means the Internet of Things is a huge advantage and a unique chance for India. So what's our job? Reliance. Who is Reliance? Huge company. I believe we are doing most of the things you need, from insurance, we are managing metros, power, we are producing power, we are doing thousands of things. And one part is telecommunication, you can see it on the right side. And they've created, one part is Internet of Things. A full new independent unit. It was founded mid of this year. And as a beginning, it was a part of the Reliance Group. And then I believe they made a right decision. This is my experience from the last 10 years in the IoT space. They've created a full independent unit. Of course, you have to be agile and fast. Without to be independent, it doesn't work. That's the reason why they created in the organization, and then a new company, and then grow up. And all these things we have done in the last month. We have a vision, like everybody, we will be digital. I do not want to explain too much. At the end, we want to be a part of this triangle coming from the industry. That's our part, our investment into the India market. So some other things I've learned from the India market is a strong growing market for IoT. You can learn a lot about for IoT in India. Interesting is Reliance has rolled out the 4G. In India, we are not talking about 5G, we're talking about 4G. Before it was CDMA, 2G, 3G. They swapped CDMA. Typical is in India, they killed CDMA and swapped all CDMA customer to 4G. Now Reliance is the only customer, the only provider who's offering 4G countrywide. It's a huge advantage for the OEMs and all the automotives and everybody who's want to use IoT for tracking or for other things. 4G, best coverage. I've learned a lot about pricing. India is a really price-sensitive market, but on the other side, it's a huge market. Everybody wants to get access to these 1.3 billion people. The startup mentality, or the startups which are coming up, many companies. It's not only in India, also companies from outside, partners from outside want to get access to the Indian market. The people are really creative and agile. And I believe that's the right way to win the game of IoT. I believe in IoT, it's much more ramping up with 80%, try it to the market and add new services top on top on top on top. I believe IoT is not a market where you create something to 101 or 110% and then go to market. It's much more ramp it up, start as soon as possible, and develop agile when the product is already existing. And it works really, really fast. And I also believe that the Indian people have the DNA for IoT. This is their approach. Whatever they are doing, let's go, let's try it. Really, really fast. So what we are doing as Unlimit, Unlimit is the Internet of Things company inside Reliance. We are focused on key verticals, automotive, transport and logistics, healthcare, the energy sector, smart cities, things I've explained before, because it's a huge market, huge demand in the next years. But whatever you're doing in IoT, my lesson learned from the last 10 years is also you have to select the right pattern, scalability, scale. Select the right pattern and then create the right platform, the right architecture. Focus on core strengths. That means if you're talking about IoT, you're talking about the partner ecosystem. I believe it's clear for everybody of you, you need partner. Without partner IoT, never works. And the open interface infrastructure, that means you have all the APIs so that you can change different platforms. I can come later on. Good. What we have done, I was the first person, 1st of July. What we have done in the last 4 months. We have created a new company called Unlimit, part of Reliance. We have recruited people around the world, US market, European market, India, worldwide. Recruited many people. Fixed the strategy and execution. Whatever you're doing in India is execution. There's never a market for IoT. It's a question of, is there a market for IoT? Let's talk about the business case. The business case I have done for Unlimit to my boss, who's the owner of Reliance, was roundabout, I've prepared it 2 hours and presented 5 minutes. Then it was done. And I remember before I've worked in different other companies, I'm sure I've spent months before I got the money. So, 15th of November, we have done the big bang, the announcement of the unit, Unlimit, called Unlimit. And also now, interesting, forget the pictures, we have used Twitter for this announcement. And 1 day later, people explained us, so do you know what was happening in Twitter during these 6 hours? We got more than 100 million tweets on Twitter. 100 million tweets on Twitter. That's really a lot. I've expected 100,000, 200,000, 100 million. So strategy and execution. This is our architecture, a little bit more technology. We have the horizontal layer, connectivity, service, developer, and the application layer. We have implemented the connectivity, the service layer. We are just finishing now the developer and application layer that will be announced latest on Mobile World Congress. And the analytic part we will start latest in Q2 next year. So that means after 1 year, we have the full stack of IoT. And you plug in all the partner services on top. I believe this is a typical architecture for IoT. Partnering. The problem in India, if you're talking about partnering, there are so many partners, hundreds, thousands, 10,000 of partners. And what we will do now, we have decided, we are now in the execution mode, we will offer a digital marketplace in the near future where all the partners, like an app store, where all the partners can plug in their services using our platform. There are developer environments. They can use all these tools from the developers as developer to develop IoT services and use this also to offer this via the platform. And you can see it, partners are coming in, many partners, hundreds, thousands of partners. plug in the services, the buyer can use it, can search, and also some services will be killed because nobody's buying it, like an app store. This is the next step. So our portfolio principle, we are not selling products, we are selling a service in principle. That means whatever you buy from Unlimited is more or less a service with a monthly fee. It's not a part of hardware, you have to pay $100 for the hardware and that's all. It's all a monthly fee as a service, products as a service or solution as a service. But not all will be out of the shelf. A few of them will be more project driven. That means if you're talking about smart meter and smart grid services, many, for example, solar panel services now in India, for this one you need projects, will be also as a service. We have a team behind who is serving projects to support. And for sure value-added services, device management, consulting, business case for the SME market, for all of them. Most of them have heard about IoT, but less of them do really know touch and feel. What does it mean? What does it mean for me? Why I should buy IoT? I believe it was just explained before. 3 reasons to buy IoT is make money, save money. The third one is the Pokemon effect. Fun, wellness, Pokemon effect. It's the third application normally. With these 3 applications, you can fix all IoT services. So we are working together with Cisco Jasper. I believe it's the best service. It's a global acting platform because all the OEMs worldwide are already using the Jasper platform. We have exclusivity for India. That means all of them coming to India and asking, so there's Jasper, who's using Jasper in the India market? We want to get access to this market. Then we have a starter kit so that the customer can onboard really smart, really simple. I believe customer experience is so important that the customer can get on board as simple as possible. It's a key. Forget technology in front of customer. Like a smartphone, make it simple, simple, simple. And the tracking service is the first for remote monitoring, and tracking is the first service. The plan is to offer around about 2 to 3 new services per month, so that we are around about 30, 40 new services on top after 12 months. Our part is to optimize the process to onboard partners, not what is the product. The product will be driven by the partner. We are operating these things. So what is our strategy, our roadmap? There are 1,000 things behind. We have started with 2G, 3G, 4G. We are talking about the narrowband. I believe that will also happen in 2017. We are talking about value-added services, the developer community. We are talking about application layers, which will be implemented as soon as possible. And I believe this range we will fulfill overall in 12 months. That means start at 1st of July this year, and after 12 months, we can offer the full stack of IoT. So, what are the challenges for the market to India? We have created one picture. People ask me many times, when you are in India, when you expand your business outside India, the answer is why? Why I should expand the business outside India? Here living 1.3 billion people, and all the partners from Europe, you are welcome. Let's talk. Let's talk together if you're interested in the India market, to offer services to the India market. There are different regulator issues we have to support. We can support you on all these parts. All the OEMs, the automotive, we are in touch with all of them because they're really interested in this market, as explained before. There's a reason, this is the gateway of India. It's a really famous area in India, everybody's knowing it. And our part will really, with the best coverage, with really a dedicated team. We are the only organization in India who has a dedicated IoT unit with international people. There's not only salespeople, we have product management, we have all local. So we can support you on this side. And there's a last slide. We are in a partnership with China Unicom. And there was one special moment in my life. I was in Beijing 1 month before. We were around the table, on the other side some OEMs. In the middle was Jasper, on the left was me. On the right was the person from China Unicom. And we discussed a lot about how to work together. And then I thought about, oh my God, if we are counting both population together, we are talking about 1/3 of the world population. And in the middle is one platform. And this is a huge, huge advantage for many, many players who want to get access to these markets. It's unnecessary, like in Europe, to talk to many, many, 20, 30, 40 different players on the market. With two, and Cisco is for the connectivity, there could be also a placement for some others. I'm sure there will come some others. This is the way how India works. So, that's the reason why I've changed. Normally, everybody is thinking about a global world. And I've learned in India, we have partly also to think much more local and act big. What I've learned, whatever you're doing in India, when you open the door, it's not that a wave is coming in, you have the feeling a tsunami is coming in. No? We are doing idea contests, we are doing the startups, and thousands of things like the tweets when we announce something. Whatever you're doing in India, it's big, big, big. Okay, now it's clear, I believe, what no limit means. No limit means, that's the reason why we like it, unlimited. And this is just the beginning. Many, many things will coming up. And I believe everybody of you is welcome to visit India, to knock on my door. It's a huge door. And yeah, I believe that's all from my side. Thank you for your attention.